welcome to Simply Jan Homestead. I've been called out by Tiffany and Mr. C from Muddin' for Nothing. They want me to participate in Steercember, hosted by Derek Fowler, 1973. It's on. One of my favorite meals to make. Sirloin steak in the cast iron skillet. I have 3 duck eggs. I'm going to add milk, garlic powder, original Mrs. Dash, and I'm going to fry up some mushrooms, and then I'm going to make some ribbon pasta with Velveeta. Yum, yum. And I might grill some of those peppers up just to go on the side. Yum. Okay, I decided to add some summertime heat, and this is a mix from Drunken Chef Barbecue, and it's so good, and it'll just get a little kick to the steak. I don't want a lot because I don't want it to overwhelm it, but I just want a little. So I'm gonna get that on there, and I'm only gonna do one side. So I'm gonna put our garlic powder on there. I know, Tiffany, just salt and pepper is all you need, but sometimes I need a little kick. And then we love this Best Choice steak seasoning. Just a little bit though, just a cap. Otherwise, it can be overwhelming. So that's how I do it, and then I just poke the steak. You know, poke it. There we go. So that top layer will add a beautiful flavor of the heat of the jalapeno. I am so tempted to put it on the back side too, but I'm not. I think I'm gonna refrain. Y'all know me well enough by now. I might say that, and then I'm gonna do it anyway. And you know what? I am gonna do it anyway. I'm just gonna do it, y'all. It's way easier to do. Just a little. Just a little. It got sort of moist in the jar, so that's why I'm doing it this way. Probably should have put a packet in there, a freshness packet. Okay, that's good enough. We don't want to burn our lips off. We just want a little bit of that flavor. And another cap. There we go. That's how you do it. And then I just let that sit and marinate. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. And next we'll go on to the mushrooms. Here we go. 3 duck eggs. You can use chicken eggs. I just have duck eggs. And I have 3. So I go 1, 2, 3. There we go. And then I'm going to take my fork and I'm just going to whisk those around and get them all blended up. Okay, that looks good. Now we're going to take some Mrs. Dash. We're just going to be very generous with it. And I don't even know why I closed the garlic powder. And the garlic powder, and you're going to be very generous with it. And we're going to repeat that in the flour, but being extra generous with that. All right. Lots of seasoning, because this is the only time you do it. So I mix that up with my hand. It doesn't have the look I want, so we're going to add more. That's what we're going to do. That should do it. Okay. Yeah, I want to see those spices in there, right there. Okay, so now, and you could put the summertime, you could put the habanero seasoning in with your mushroom flour. You could do that. I'm not going to do that, though. Promise, I'm really not. Okay, so now here's what I like to do. These were really big mushrooms, so I quartered them, and I like to take the stems out. So I'm just gonna throw the stems in there. You don't have to do it like this. Just do you. And I mean, these were some big mushrooms, but y'all know I can eat my weight in mushrooms. All right, we're just gonna let those sit too. I'm gonna leave them on the counter, and I'm gonna come around every hour or so, and I'm gonna just keep dipping them to get that egg batter in there really nicely. I've got my water on for my ribbon pasta. I'm gonna get that boiling, add those in there, and then I'll add the Velveeta. And y'all, I did it. I put it in there. I couldn't help myself. I put the summertime heat in there, and yeah, I added a few more shakes of the garlic and Mrs. Dash. It's just my way, y'all. I mean, don't judge me. I got my own way of cooking, man. And it's so good. When you're marinating your meat, I always, you don't have to do this, but this is how I do it. I always pull it out an hour before I'm going to cook it, so it gets to room temperature. And that brings out the flavor in the meat. While we're waiting for all this to happen, I want to say a huge thank you to Tiffany and Mr. C, and most of all, Derek Fowler. Thank you for starting this fun collaboration. You know I love to cook, and so I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. And did you ever start cooking and all the flies in the world start humming around? That happened here. So I went on a mission. I won. Hey, here we go. Y'all know I never made ribbon pasta. I'm going to cook this. It says boil 8 to 10 minutes. We'll do a half bag. And I'm going to boil this 8 to 10 minutes. I put some salt, a little bit of olive oil in here so it doesn't stick together. And I've got my timer set. Just set it. So we're going to bring this back to a boil 8 to 10 minutes. And then we're going to drain it. But we're not going to rinse it. I have to tell you something funny. I kept seeing these spots in the cheese. And I was like, what is that? What is that? It's Mexican. I didn't even know I bought Mexican cheese. But that's okay because we love this. Now, I've taken about half of the cheese block. It's a medium-sized cheese block. I've cut it into cubes. If I need more, I can always chop some more up. The pasta has 35 seconds to go. Alrighty, I'm going to take a half stick of butter. I did tell you, maybe a little bit more, because, you know, I like butter. Anyway, I did tell you this is not a low-fat meal, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I said that. So I'm just going to, I left a teeny bit of water in there. Maybe a, couple tablespoons. And I'm going to melt that butter just like that. I turn the stove top off. And I am getting that butter melted. And now we're going to add the cheese chunks. And I do believe this is going to be more than enough. So I want to get that in there. Started to melt a little bit before I add the milk. When I add the milk, I'm going to turn this bad boy back on. And I'm not adding a lot, y'all. Just probably about a 1/4 cup of milk. But I want this to get nice and melted. So we'll be back. Alrighty, we've got that melting. I'm going to add a little bit of Redmond's real salt. It's my new favorite salt. And then pepper. And look at how cheesy. That's gonna be so good. Yummy deliciousness. Did you ever buy the extra cheesy mac and cheese in a pot? And it wasn't really extra cheesy at all. This is extra cheesy. Okay, so this is gonna sit here and we'll move on to the next step. The steer. Oh yeah. I can't wait. We gotta do a taste test. That's good. One more thing before I forget. I'm calling out Gail at Gail Southern Living. She's gonna do this too. Oh yeah. Tag, you're it, Gail. All right, before we get on to the steer, I just wanted to show you something real quick. So, what I do is I get a mushroom and I want to drain that egg off. Now, you don't want to put all your mushrooms in the flour at once. I mean, I guess you could do that, but I'm going to double dip these. So, I want that flour fresh. I'm going to add about 6 mushrooms, and just that last piece I did not drain off very well. Oops, and you're just going to mix them up real good. Get a thick coating of flour on your mushrooms. These have been sitting in this milk and egg batter all day because, you know why, guys? I started the video way too early. And I forgot the boss had a meeting tonight. So, I put everything on hold. And they've just been in there marinating. And I knocked that flour off of the fork. And I plate them up. Okay, you get the idea, right? Yeah. Okay, the mushrooms are finished. And I'm going to stick these in the oven in a minute. I've had it heated on 350. But I'm going to stick these in the oven. And what we'll do is we're going to eat these with ranch dressing. Okay, we got a beautiful sear going on here. We like ours medium well. We don't really like it. That's too red for me. So I'm going to let this cook in this butter. Spin it around. You know, if you spin it, everything's better. And I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit. And I'm just going to cover this up and let this bad boy cook. We'll leave a little ventilation going on there. Ooh, that's going to be so good. Okay, guys, the steak is done to perfection, and the boss should be home anytime. So we'll get this plated up, and then we're going to torture you with the taste test. The boss is rushing me. Okay, here we go, guys. We got the cheesy mac and cheese, fried mushrooms, ranch dressing, and a thick cut sirloin steak. You want to take a bite, boss?
Well,
yeah, I mean, you're drooling over here.
You mean of the steak?
Everything.
Fried mushrooms.
The mushrooms are outstanding. I already know that. I tasted them.
And you made this homemade?
Yeah. I did. Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. Real good.
Okay.
Now let me see if this is any good, or if you salted it too much.
Oh, did not salt it.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Excellent.
Okay. There you go. Y'all have a blessed night. Be blessed and love well. Bye now.
Bye now.
Thanks, Derek.